Alrighty, so we are going to start standing up, not for long. We'll be coming down onto our mat. So have your props, your strap and your bolster close by near to your mat. Just have your feet relatively wide so we can get into mobilizing the pelvis. Knees soft and weight in the heels. So we just want to be really mindful when we come into this kind of goddess stance that the pelvis isn't drifting forward. We keep the weight back like so. So imagine your tail is dropping down behind you. And then just start to massage your pelvis around in circles and wriggle your jaw at the same time. Make a bit of noise. Take some deep breaths in through the back of the nostrils. As you breathe out, create a bit of noise and wriggle your jaw. Croaky throat this morning. One direction, other direction, arms out to the side, shoulders down, fingers nice and wide. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Breathing in. And do a couple of big yawning kind of movements. Stretching the muscles around your face. Lovely. That's it. Drop down a little bit further. Just drop your hands down. Take a deep breath in. Take the hands up. Sorry, my hands are disappearing. And then up. Feel that breath spreading up underneath the armpits. So stretching the breath into those intercostal muscles. And down. And we'll just stay down. Up and over, lateral stretch. You're lifting your rib cage up away from the pelvis. Shoulders away from ears. Nice deep breath in here. And then slowly coming down and up and over to the other side. Opening the side, right out, flaring those ribs. And then releasing it down. Drop the shoulders. So we just release the shoulders one at a time across the midline of the body. Dropping and lifting the other shoulder. A little bit of a twist right at bra strap height. Squeeze it out. As you drop down, go with your breath. Release it. Beautiful. We're going to get into the inner thighs. So draw your weight over to one side and pull your toes towards you. Tail is lifted up behind you. Your knee is right on top of your ankle here. Squeeze your toes. Lift your toes. Squeeze your toes. Lift your toes. Squeeze them while you're squeezing them. Do a little rub here. And then pull them back. Keep rubbing. Fabulous. And then slowly, let's just swivel around. So that leg that you were stretching, bend it now. Swivel yourself around. So coming to a high lunge. Heel is up. Press yourself down. Just getting into these hip flexors. A bit into the quadriceps here. Hands on hips. Or if your balance is pretty good, take the hands up towards the ceiling. Thumbs back, little fingers forward. And then as you breathe, push the heel back and feel the rib cage lifting up away from the pelvis. So you stretch this whole area even more. Breathing in, maybe a slight back bend, shoulders sliding down your back. Beautiful, slowly coming down. Come back, give your hips a little shake from side to side, and then bring yourself into that stretch on the other side. So our toes are pulling up. We've got this nice stretch here into these inner thigh muscles, just making sure this knee is not dropping inwards. Lovely. Squeeze those toes, pull them back, squeeze them, and then pull them back. Give those inner thighs a bit of a rub. The tail is lifted, sitting bones are spreading. And then just swivel yourself into a high lunge here. And it doesn't need to be down low, just go to your comfort level. If you've got a handy wall, you can put your fingers on the wall for balance. Opening up the hip flexors. You can see my toes are on the mat, the heel is up. So pressing down and back. Front knee pretty much on top of front heel. And then just hands on hips. As you breathe out, you might sink a little bit lower and then possibly taking hands up, thumbs back, little fingers forward. And this time you breathe deeply in, so you flare your ribs out to the sides again, opening the heart center. Beautiful. Slowly coming down. Swap yourself back into the middle. Come into a body stance again. Heel toe a little bit closer together. And then drop yourself down so you come into a frog stance. Forearms pressing knees back. Or maybe elbows, if that's comfortable, and fingertips together. And then just slide your bottom back and down a little bit more. Heart center is lifted. Shoulders are towards each other. And your tail is dropping down but back. Gently pressing out, so we're opening up the inner thighs, groin. Lovely. That's the way. Now you might put your hand onto your bolster or down onto the ground. So putting my left hand down here and then just lifting up through the right hand, stretching up through fingertips and then down. Pressing down through right hand, lifting up through the left hand. Groin will be screaming at you now. And then down. And then slowly draw yourself down onto all fours. And bring your hands nice and wide on your mat. Bring your knees together. And then just drop your hips to one side. So we're going right down into the adductors here. Abductors, outer thigh muscles. Breathe out, tummy back into spine, up and over to the other side. So we want to open up these hips, open up the inner thighs, open up the front, open up the back. Come up and over this time. Drop your right sitting bone down to about 5 o'clock on the clock face, and then stretch your fingertips up to about 11 o'clock. So you're stretching right across the body. You can feel that stretch going right into your gluteal muscles. Wiggle your jaw again. The more you relax the facial muscles and we relax the jaw in particular, the more we'll find this whole pelvic area is allowed, if you like, internally to start to release. And then just give your pelvis a swish from side to side, posturing, and then take your left sitting bone down to, what's that, about 7, 8 o'clock on the clock face. Fingertips reaching, stretching out to about 2 o'clock. Shoulder away from ears. You can feel the armpits stretching. See if you can get that lovely lengthening stretch underneath the arm here, from fingertips right to armpit. Good, and slowly coming back into the center. Hands nice and wide on your mat and take the pelvis right around in a big circle. So hips out to the sides and then pelvis forward to the other side and down. And you can keep your elbows relatively bent. Maybe pause as you come forward, so weights over the wrists and just getting into the hip flexors at the front of your pelvis. Come to the side. Pause here, drape pelvis over to the side, slowly coming back, noticing if there's any sticky points. So you're being very internally focused now, noticing, observing, just taking note, one direction, and then we'll just slide back in the other direction. Good. Slide your knees wide for a moment, so really quite wide, wider than your mat, and then slide your bottom back, so your sitting bones are lifted and spread, and then take your fingertips forward, coming right up off your wrists. Shoulders are rolling away from your ears. As you breathe out, you drape your chest down towards the ground, and as you breathe in, you kind of flare your back up towards the ceiling. So you're pulsing with your breath, inner thighs lengthening, opening. Sitting bones lifted, so the weight of our organs is down on the pubic bone on the lower belly. That's the way. Come onto your forearms and take your knees back towards each other a little bit. Drop your bum back towards your heels and then tuck your heels. So tuck your toes, sorry, so you get a stretch through the soles of your feet. Breathe in here so you flare out underneath your armpits. You want to feel your ribs flaring out to the side on the inhalation. And then on the exhalation, draw yourself forward so your shoulders are nearly up to your wrists. And you want to suck up your lower belly as you come forward on that exhalation. So we breathe in, sitting bones flare, belly softens. Breathe out, and I'm going to purse my lips as I breathe out, like I'm blowing out a candle. Coming forward, pausing at the end of that exhalation. Breathing in, and then breathing out, moving forward. As you come forward, there's a slight rounding of the back, a very slight tucking of the tail in order to get that real scooping, lifting sensation. Pelvic floor, deep levator ani muscles, and then deep core muscles all activating. Coming down on the inhale, forward on the exhale. Now you can continue with that, or at the end of your exhalation, when there's no more puff left in you, you can pause here and then do a false inhalation where you pull your ribs out to the side and suck up your lower belly even more. And then as soon as you need to breathe, you let your belly go and you drop down and you breathe again. So I'll talk you through it one more time. You breathe in here, flaring ribs, breathing out completely. As you scoop and come forward, you don't breathe in again. Instead, you flare the ribs out to the side, scooping lower belly even more, sucking diaphragm up even more, pelvic floor lifts. And then let belly go, and sink back. I'm going to do that without talking. Breathing in though to start. And dropping down. Yeah. Coming off into hands and knees again. Just swirl your pelvis right around. So if you've got a tail, you'd be swirling it around in a big circle. This is a nice massage onto the lower back. Let your breathing come back to normal. Other direction with the pelvis. Nice swirly, swirly hips. Okay, just going to release shoulders for a moment. So I'll turn down the space so you can see me better. Left hand in the middle, like so. Right hand up towards the ceiling, shoulders away from ears. So give yourself a bit of a twist through the mid-back, stretching into these pectoral muscles as well. Breathe in, and then take this top hand and slide it down underneath the bottom hand. So left hand, right hand. Drop down onto your right shoulder, chin's tucked in. And then you can, if it feels all right to you, take the left hand onto your left hip. Now I'm going to try taking that left foot out to the side as well. Toes forward, little toe edge pressing down sideways. So we're kind of sliding bottom back, getting a stretch through those inner thighs, getting a twist through the back, getting a stretch through the upper shoulder area. Slide that bum back. If that looks a bit too complicated, a bit too wacky, just keep that knee in and focus on your shoulders. Take that left hand back on the mat. Draw the right hand back up towards the ceiling. Shoulder away from ears. Deep breath in. We're going to keep these muscles open for our posture and our breathing. Take the right hand down. Take the left hand up towards the ceiling. Shoulders away from ears. Give yourself a moment to stretch these chest muscles. Give yourself a nice twist through that mid-back area where so many of us get really stuck. And then let's take this top hand and slide it like you're threading the needle underneath that right arm. Drop down onto the top of the left shoulder. Tuck your chin right in. Rest the side of your head on the mat. Take the right hand either onto the hip or maybe even up towards the ceiling. I'm going to do the hip today. I'm going to slide right foot out to the side as well. So toes forward, little toe edge kind of sliding down towards the ground. And then you head your tail back a little bit more as well. So we get a bit of an inside thigh stretch at the same time. There's pretzeling the body. Twisting, lengthening, stretching. Yeah. Just take that right hand down. You won't stay here for long. Bring yourself back. Take that left hand up towards the ceiling. Nice mid-back stretch. Lovely. I'm going to come back here, tucking toes. Draw yourself up. We're going to go into the quads, the hip flexors, and the spine. So roll one shoulder up towards your ear and then slide it down, and do the same with the other side, up and down. Heels of the hands onto the back of the pelvis, fingers down, toes are tucked. Press your knees down into your mat, and at the same time, imagine you've got a string from the heart center being very gently lifted up towards the ceiling. So this is much more about creating space between the vertebrae than a back bend, but there's a little bit of a back bend. Keep holding your pelvis and breathe so it feels like your breath's coming out towards your shoulders from your heart center. Keep pressing those knees down. Keep stretching across the chest. And then from the very crown of your head, imagine there is a string attached there, and that string is now being pulled up towards the ceiling. So you create lots and lots and lots of space as you lift your head up and back on top of your neck. Chin draws in, base of the ribcage draws in, like so. So just sit here for a moment and feel that nice alignment. You're just underneath the skin surface of the body. And then I'm going to get you to take your left foot forward. You can untuck your right foot. So we're in this proposal position. Do a couple of cat-cow movements with your pelvis. So pivot bone is forward, tailbone is tucking and releasing, like so, mobilizing. You'll notice because we have our right shin pressing down, it's a lot stronger stretch here on the quads. Okay, keep that tuck. Pivot bone is forward, tail is tucked. Left hand on the outside of the left knee, right hand up towards the ceiling, shoulder down. And then give yourself a little stretch. I like to come right up and over to the left side with those right fingers. And this whole area is stretching and opening and mobilizing. And then take that hand down. If you've got your handy brick nearby, you can put your fingers on the brick. Take that front foot out, toes pulling back. Similarly, if you've got your strap, it's quite helpful to put the strap around the ball of your foot. And then just pull your tail backwards. You can see I'm hinging forward from the hips here rather than rounding back. So we want to just hinge. Imagine somebody's got your tail, pulling your tail backwards. Pull your toes back towards you, especially the little toe. Little toe tends to want to bend inwards. See if you can pull that little toe back and spread your toes like so. And rub the underside of the leg into those hamstrings. So these hamstrings, when they're tight, they pull your pelvis under. And when the pelvis is pulled under, posteriorly rotated, that's when we tend to get those tightening pelvic floor muscles, leading to constipation, to pain, to difficulty eliminating, to heaviness, to more likely to have prolapse or worsening prolapse symptoms. Good. Whew. That's lovely. Just bring your knees back together for a moment. Give your hips a little dance from one side to the other. Little release. That's the way. And then taking that right foot forward. Left toes pushing on the ground. Pivot bone forward, tailbone under. So we're doing that kind of cat-cow movement. But keep the torso nice and tall. Keep that feeling of being lifted up through the crown of your head. So we're sort of imprinting this good posture. Shoulders sitting down on top of pelvis here, hip bones, crown of the head lifted, chin drawn in. And then keep that tuck, hand on the outside of your knee, right hand on the outside of right knee, left hand stretching up. Now, like a crepe bandage, as you breathe, you feel the knee and the fingertips stretching further apart. And you're opening up the side of your body, stretching it. That's me showing the side of your body, and then a little tilt over to the right side of the mat. Oh, that's it. And then slowly come back. Slide that right foot forward, toes flaring, pulling back, and then tail sliding back. So you're just hinging forward like so, getting into those hamstrings. That feels good, doesn't it? Just to get into those guys. Give them a nice warming rub. Stretch those toes apart. Very good. Okay, so just take yourself down into a kneeling position. From here, hands into heart center. We're going to glide up via the glutes and arms out to the side to stretch into those pectoral muscles. Slide down again. Breathe in, glide up, and then slide. And then one more time. Breathe and glide, opening up heart center and down. This time, breathe and glide, take the hands up so it feels like camel pose. Pause, hands down. Squeeze and glide. And down. And this time, squeeze and glide, drop the arms behind you, stretch the arms out in front as you come to an extended child pose. Roll shoulders away from the ears. Take a pause here, breathing into the lower lobes of the back of your lungs. Inhale onto hands and knees, lifting tail, lifting heart, tuck the toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. So we want to stretch the spine first. Knees stay bent, shoulders rolling away from ears. Imagine your tail has been pulled back and up. And once you get to full extension through your spine, and there's lots of space between your shoulders and your ears, to give your head a shake, press those heels down one at a time, getting into the calf muscles as well as the hamstrings. And go ahead and drop the knees across the midline of the body as well, so your hips can have a little bit of action here. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Beautiful, and then just dropping down onto your knees again. Caterpillar your way onto your tummy. Keep your hands close in, elbows close in, tops of the feet on the ground. Take a deep breath in to lift your heart center up off your mat. Exhale down. So you're just filling your lungs to come into a gentle cobra, not putting much weight into your hands. That's it. So we just want to set those upper back muscles for the day. And then turn your toes in, your heels out. Take your hands underneath your forehead and rock your pelvis from side to side. Just give it a jiggle, 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 jiggle. Massage into the lower back. Just releasing around the pelvis. Lovely. Rolling onto your back and take your straps. I'm just going to bring my mat a little bit off the wall. Grab your strap and get both bolster close by. So, feet close in. Take your strap around your right foot, around the ball of the foot. Shoulders are down. Base of the rib cage dropping down, so you're not flaring your ribs here. And then start to press the back of the pelvis down into your mat as you push the heel away from you. So if we have the strap on the ball of the foot, we just don't get that same hamstring stretch, calf muscle and hamstring stretch. So use your breath and your imagination, your mind's eye, to run a line of energy up and down the back of your leg, inhaling through the heel towards the ceiling, exhaling, pressing down into the pelvis, like your tail, which is coming out of your sacrum, is going straight down into the ground. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Now bring your left knee up and then split your legs apart. So left knee over to the left, right heel over to the right. Keep pressing the heel away from you, getting into those inner thighs again. See if you can loosen the jaw. Now we're just going to slide the ankle on top of the left knee, draw the left knee in, so we're going to right down into that right hip area, right glute area. And I like to just rock from side to side, so a little massage across the sacrum here. Just notice how relaxed you can make your jaw and your shoulders. So we're doing it pulling with our arms. It's all nice and relaxed here. Other side, so left ball of the foot pressing, being pulled down, heel pressing away from you. Push the back of the pelvis into the mat. Maybe give the back of your legs a bit of a rub. So with our chin drawn in slightly here, we can get that lovely ujjayi breath. So like a soft ocean sound rolling up and down off the beach. So we want to gently close the mouth and breathe in and out of the nostrils, creating that, it's like a soft Darth Vader sound. Filling the lungs and letting the lungs completely empty. Take the strap into your left hand and taking the right knee up, gently opening the thighs so we get right into the groin here. That's it. So before we can really do any strengthening, toning work in the, well, anywhere really, but specifically the pelvic floor area, we really need to lengthen these muscles and let go of tension patterns. It's very calming to slightly rock, especially across the spine. And then let's take that ankle, that left ankle on top of the right knee, drawing that right knee in, consciously activating the vagus nerve now. So I want you to focus on the long exhalation, still using that ujjayi breath. So it's a longer ocean-like sound out. And maybe just rocking across the sacrum as well. Beautiful. And then both feet in your strap, nice and wide with the feet, and then dropping the knees down to the armpits. So we're stretching right out into the groin. That's the way. Press the sacrum into your mat and just notice how much deeper the stretch becomes. You must feel the sitting bones spreading. You get right down into the deeper pelvic floor muscles, the support structures. Nice soft belly, soft shoulders. Deep, full breathing. And then maybe adding that little rock, pulling on one strap, side of the strap and the other side of the strap, massaging across the pelvis. Beautiful. I'm just going to get you to take your strap away and slide a bit of height underneath your pelvis now. So I'm just going to take this bolster. Take your right knee in towards your chest, stretch out the left leg, and then see if you can stretch out the left arm as well. Breathe in deeply, so you stretch like the crepe bandit is stretching, fingertips and toes lengthening apart. Side out and swap to the other side. Knees both in for just a fraction of a second, and the stretching out on the right. Breathing in deeply. Beautiful. And then both legs up towards the ceiling. So we've got the weight of our legs just dropping down into the pelvis. Really nice to get pressure off the pelvic floor. Organs are dropping down away from the pelvic floor. Now give your legs a shake. So you just jiggle them like so. Jiggly, 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 jiggly. It feels really nice to get this vibration through the body. And then maybe even taking the arms up and just jiggling the arms as well. Arms and legs, jiggly, jiggly, jiggly. Take a deep breath in, and this time just sigh the breath out of you. Nice open mouth, breathing in and again. One more time. Fabulous. Drop the feet down, hands on belly. Just close the eyes. See if you can tap into the tingling sensation just underneath the skin surface. Feel that soft rise and fall of the belly. See if you can consciously relax your lower back. And as you breathe, consciously feel a flowing, softening sensation down through the pelvis, down towards your knees. So these hip flexors get a chance to release. If it feels really comfortable for you to do so, maybe drop the knees out to the sides. And if your body is requiring you to do so, maybe arms up above the head or out to the sides as well, but only if that feels good on your shoulders. And then focusing on softening the muscles around your eyes. Imagine your eyelids are becoming very heavy, encouraging the eyeballs to become heavy in the sockets. And that heaviness starts to roll out through the whole of your face. So all the muscles in the face soften. Lower jaw softens. And then every time you exhale, just feel this encouragement of the softening to ripple down through shoulders and chest and belly and hips and thighs and knees and shins and calves and feet. Whole body draping, softening, absorbing, relaxing. That's the way. And then just slowly bringing those knees together, taking your prop down underneath your feet. Nice wide feet, arms out to the sides. Just drop the knees from side to side. Giving yourself a little rinse through the spine. Like so. And then kicking that prop away, getting yourself into a little ball, tucking yourself right up, and then rocking and rolling up and down the spine, massaging up and down the spine. All the way to sitting. And if it's helpful to sit on your bolster just so we don't round through the lower back. Just come and sit comfortably for a moment. Lift right up through the spine. Lift and drop one shoulder at a time, sliding them down your back so your chest is nice and open. Give your head a little massage around. And then find that sweet spot where your head is perfectly positioned on top of your neck. Chin is drawn in, bottom of your nose, bottom of your chin are parallel to the ground. And again, just taking a moment to feel underneath the skin surface of the whole of your body. Notice the sensation of the air against your skin. Notice the sensation of your breath sliding down through the back of your throat and into your lungs. And taking fingertips out to the side and turning palms to face the ceiling. Imagine your palms are filling with fresh, sparkling energy. And then as you breathe in, pull that energy up and around your body. And just let it all go. And again, a deep breath, an invigorating breath in. Side out. And last one, deep breath in. Hold the top of the breath. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.